100 years of toxic dumping? How can that be?
Let's go back to the very beginning. Not so long ago, Richmond used to look very different. Before it was the city we now know, the land was stewarded by the indigenous Ohlone people for thousands of years. Things changed when Spanish colonizers took over the land and converted it into farms and space for cattle grazing. But that didn't last long either. Almost overnight, Richmond became the center of industry for the Bay Area. Stouffer Chemical was one of those companies. Like I said, they made lots of chemicals on this site, from sulfuric acid and other toxic chemicals to radioactive materials. Most of the waste, including those radioactive materials, was either dumped or buried here.
How is that possible? Isn't that illegal?
At the time, there was very little regulation of harmful chemical disposal. Corporations could do pretty much whatever they wanted.
What about radioactive materials? I don't get how that relates to sulfuric acid or pesticides.
Stouffer worked with the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission during the Cold War nuclear arms race. Radioactive waste was dumped in the area of the site known as the Blair landfill.
If Stouffer Chemical did all this damage, then why is it called the Zeneca site?
In the 1980s, Zeneca, now known as AstraZeneca, acquired the site and kept making agricultural chemicals there until 1997.
And they never cleaned it up?
Well, Zeneca was supposed to. In 2002, they were ordered to clean up the site, but they did it on the cheap.
That doesn't sound good.
It really wasn't. They demolished hundreds of contaminated buildings, underground drains, and storage facilities. They ground up the concrete, mixed it with some of the supposedly treated toxic soil, and put that mixture back on top of the remaining contaminated soil. All that with no public notice, no dust control, no air monitors, no inspections, and no follow-up.
What? How can they do that?
Even worse, workers moved about 3,000 truckloads worth of contaminated soil from the University of California Richmond field station next door onto the Zeneca property and buried it there.
If it was illegal, then they had to face consequences, right?
They were fined in 2007, but the damage was done.
Things just got worse for us from there.